Okay, they cannot hear us. There'll be no interaction, but here come the guys from Cavs Media Day. Guys, take it away.
Hey, Jason, look, it's us. We're on TV. Hey, guys. We are here live at Cavs Media Day. Jason Lloyd, Mikey McNuggets here, the Ultimate Cavs podcast host. Jason also works for The Athletic, and you know who I am because I work for UCSS. We talked to Kobe Altman, Kenny Atkinson, Tristan Thompson today. We might get another player, but Jason, you were over at the podiums where Donovan, Darius, Evan, Jarrett, all the big names spoke. You have one big takeaway from what you may have learned today from hearing from those guys?
No. It was all exactly
Media
what you,
day.
yeah, it's what you would think they would say. Donovan was, said he was excited to put all the contract stuff behind him, was able to sign a deal and put it to end all of the questions for, he said it was 3 years in a row, if you go back to his Utah days, of having to talk about his future and where he's going to be. And so he was relieved to be here. I was excited to be here, put pen to paper. He said it was really around January, February that he kind of knew that he made up his mind that he wanted to stay and sign the extension. I think winning that series against Orlando helped a lot. I don't know, how this goes if they lose that game 7. I think that certainly helped immensely. And so here we are. They were going to run basically the entire team back. Darius talked about the weight that he lost last year.
He looked big. I don't know if he did look like he put on some real weight.
Defined muscle. Yeah, he said he lost 15 pounds over the wired jaw, and then to come back, obviously in the middle of the season, it's hard to do that. Played a physical playoff series. Denied, said it wasn't true. Our story about how they may ask for a trade if Donovan resigns, it was true, but it's okay. He can deny it. We stand by all of it. I did not hear Jarrett. I wanted to. I don't know where he went or when he went. I don't know how I missed him.
He spoke at that podium while someone else was speaking.
Okay.
One of those doubled up.
Okay. So I missed Jarrett, and Evan talks like this and didn't really have a lot to say. So got to get more personality out of Evan still. They're working on it.
Well,
got to work on the game first.
On that, I asked Kenny Atkinson about Evan Mobley specifically.
Yeah.
We talked to Kenny. We had our one-on-one before he left for the Olympic run. And I said, hey, how do you want to use Evan? And what are you thinking? We talked about his ceiling, shooting, all that. And I asked, okay, now that you've seen Evan in open gyms and you've got a chance to talk to him, work with him, has your expectations for what he can be as a player changed? And he goes, yeah, it's crazy how talented he is, which is what we've heard since he's been here. I think we all know how talented he could be.
Yep.
But Kenny said the one thing that stood out to me is it's his quiet competitiveness.
Yeah.
And the way this dude is a fiery guy. He doesn't do it. It's not vocal. But this guy hates to lose. He hates not being good at something. And for a guy who we look at from the outside looking in and saying, where's the passion? Does he care? He just seems to be so even keel. Maybe behind closed doors, there's more of that fiery competitor and that side of him that we haven't seen thus far that Kenny can help bring out, because even in the short time it's already impressed his new head coach.
Well, I think actually his first couple of years, I think people in the organization were trying to find or get more out of him. So if Kenny's seeing it, that may be a recent development, because I've talked to people who wanted to see more of that out of him and needed that side of him to sort of emerge. So hopefully, listen, the Cavs have been very bold. I'll give them credit. They are not hiding why Kenny Atkinson is here. They said it when they hired him, and they doubled down on it Friday. He is here to get more out of Evan Mobley. He's here to make the two big lineup fix the two big lineup, make it work. He's here to get more offensive production out of Evan Mobley, and they are not running from that at all. And the Cavs, I wrote about this. I don't think it went up yet. It'll probably go up tomorrow. But when you look at the roster, when you look at the coaching staff, the Cavs are telling you that the coach was the problem, because they brought back the entire roster.
Mm-hmm.
So they're telling you it was a coaching issue. It's not a roster issue. It's not a fit issue. It was very much a coaching issue. And now we'll see if they're right. They have from now to February for Kenny to figure out if that's true or not, and to fix this and to try and get it right.
They tripled down. I asked Kobe Altman, hey, you bringing back the same roster. Kenny was the change. Why Kenny is the one? And he said, we were most impressed by his plan to develop Evan Mobley. That's what we need. We know that is the key to unlocking this team. So then I asked Kenny, all right, Kenny, the roster's back. You're the variable.
Yeah.
Does that put extra pressure on you? And he goes, no, it's an honor. It's an honor that this organization felt like I was the right guy to take them from where they were to where they want to go. And it's really for Kenny, and I'm speaking now, paraphrasing what he said, this is step 2 of me in my coaching career. I've done the rebuild. I did it in Brooklyn. Now it's time to help take a team that was good and make them elite. And I have to prove to the NBA, to the NBA community, to myself that I can do that phase of coaching. I've done the first side of it. It didn't end in Brooklyn how we wanted to, but he accomplished the rebuild. Now it's time for him to take on this new challenge. And I like the way he's kind of approaching this entire challenge. I got to find a better word than challenge. I think you just use that 5 times in a sentence, but a better way to approach this next journey in his coaching career.
Yeah. I just give him credit for, they're not hiding from it. They're not hiding from why he's here, why they brought him here. And now he's got to go out and do it. I think Kenny got the most out of what he had to work with in Brooklyn. He overachieved for sure. And now we'll see if he can do that here. If he can't,
no, but the fact that
there will probably be changes to this roster by the trade deadline in February. But they have from now until February to try and see if they can get the backcourt functioning again and the front court to work again.
I also asked Kenny, hey, Darius, Donovan playing together, do they shoot enough? The one thing both Kenny and Kobe emphasized is we know we have shooters. Do we have the volume? We have to increase the three-point volume, which no matter what you want to say about the core four, no matter how you want to, it's worked because they won regular season games. It hasn't worked because it hasn't been successful in the postseason. You could look at all the advanced stats. Some work, some don't. Some work in certain situations. You could parse that however you want. If they're going to be shooting more threes than ever this year, it goes one of two ways. Either Evan starts taking 5, 6, 7 a game, or they're not playing two bigs together at the same time for more often than we've seen over the last 2 years. That was evidently clear talking to coach, GM, or president of basketball operations, and Tristan Thompson, who I asked, hey, Kenny's done some pretty cool things with big shooting threes. Tristan, is that up your alley? He goes, you know what? You got to watch the interview. I'm not even going to tell you what he said. You got to watch the interview. It's going to be on our YouTube page later tonight.
I was going to say, because it was supposed to be now. We were supposed to talk to all these people now, and then the schedule got adjusted a little bit. So you've already done a lot of the interviews, and they're already in the can. When are they going to air?
We'll have a strategic meeting at 2:00 and figure out the best schedule to parse these out. But we got Kobe, we got Kenny for about 10 minutes each, and we got Tristan for about 5 minutes. And we're hoping to get, I see Sam Merrill. Here comes Luke Travers walking down here. I'm going to try to grab 1 or 2 more guys before it is all said and done. But yeah, the Cavs, because of the hurricane, we'll wrap in 1 minute. I got you. Yeah, because of the hurricane, they pushed their flight up to get there early because of some travel things, which is why I think the Cavs pushed our live window up, or actually just scratched our live window and said, hey, this is when your chance to talk to Kobe and Kenny is. If it's not now, come back in a couple of weeks and we'll see if we can do it later. But all in all, it was good to talk to those guys. Excitement for a new season and hopefully a better playoff result than we've seen the last 2 years.
Give us something to talk about besides the Browns.
Yeah, I do want to mention one last thing, and we'll wrap up in 2 minutes. But I asked Kobe, tangible progress, playing team, playoff team, win a playoff series. Are you willing to put championship or bust? Or I asked him second round, win 2 playoff series. Is that? And they're not shying away from the fact that they expect this team to win multiple playoff series. That is the expectation. And I think we have to focus all of our conversations on Cleveland this year throughout that prism. Good is fine, but is good enough?
Yeah.
And we may not have the answer until April, May, and March, but it is going to be interesting to see, is good enough compared to the goods of the Bostons, the New Yorks, who just traded for Karl Anthony Towns, which we'll talk about on a Cavs show this week. We have to talk about that. But is good enough is going to be a question I'm interested in answering throughout this season.
Well, and then here's what I would say is, we have to sort of pull Bull and G back from a lather at certain points in the season. If your goal is to win 2 playoff series or make a conference finals or whatever it is, or play for a championship, then use the regular season to build toward that.
Yes.
Because I don't think that they've done a good enough job in the regular season. We've talked about it. Worry about building good habits in the regular season. Try different things. Try playing left-handed. Try different styles that you may not need in February, but you're going to need in May. So you better do them in February. And it may look funny and it may cost them a game, but that's okay.
Yep.
Because as long as the East is loaded, the East is packed. You just want to be a top 6 team in this. Obviously, you want to try and avoid the play-in and be somewhere in that top 6. 4th, 5th seed, even 6th seed in the East now is not the same as 4th, 5th, and 6th seed in the East 10 years ago. It's stacked. There's a lot of good teams, but I don't think there's any team that's infallible in the East.
Spot on. All right, from Cavs Media Day, I'm Mikey McNuggets. That is Jason Lloyd, JG Bull. Back to you guys to wrap up the show.